Howdy folks, I'm Grotto Goblin of the Goblin's Grotto, and welcome to another new Kickstarter news video. Today we're going to be covering the City Guard of Midlam, Volume 2, coming to us from Midlam Miniatures. A little thing before we get into it, this is the second video I've uploaded today. The video is a bit of gameplay for the game Reigns. I highly recommend checking it out. It was a lot of fun to play and throw together, and it's just something I kind of want to do occasionally on the channel, to play some games. Especially storytelling games, as we can use that for some inspiration in our D&D adventures. Additionally, you may have seen recently I uploaded a video called Kickstarter is Not a Store, and it's an update about the Broken Anvil Miniatures situation. I highly recommend you check that out, given the subject of this all being on Kickstarter, and just keeping that in mind as we look at these sorts of campaigns going forward. However, you may have also seen, this is just a series of promos apparently, this is not the first time I've covered Midlam Miniatures on the channel. A while back, not that long really, I uploaded a video talking about how consistent this company was in their Kickstarters, and that I have full confidence in them. So let's see what there is to offer without further delay. So, as I previously covered, Midlam Miniatures is a UK-based miniature sculpting company that casts metal miniatures and routinely hosts these Kickstarter campaigns. This is actually a Volume 2, expanding on a previous campaign, the first City Guards of Midlam. As I have shown in the previous video, they upload these campaigns and host them on Kickstarter pretty regularly, and they deliver consistently at a high quality, and I've never been disappointed with their products as I've received them. Again though, Kickstarter's not a store. However, if you do want to check out their store, they do have one. If you look at Midlam Miniatures, you will find a store where this stuff is eventually meant to appear on. But let's take a look at this campaign and just kind of see what it has to offer. As we saw, the theme of this is a city guard or a city watch. So you're expecting pretty generic guards. Starting off here with Hendrik, the watch commander. Hendrik is pretty good mini to me. I like hand sculpted minis. They have a lot more character than digital prints on occasion. And you can really see that somebody put work into it. I'm a fan of this sort of mini. From the angle that we're looking at, I think that it would be more like both of their arms are outstretched, but we're kind of seeing it from an awkward side. But I like that this character has both a sword and a bow, and the arrows are slung over the shoulder. Important detail, because sometimes people sculpt miniatures with bows and then they don't provide ammunition. I really like this miniature for a couple of reasons. One, it shows a potential multi-class, and it is a character that doesn't seem locked down to any typical gender norms. So this could be a male adventurer, a female adventurer, could be anyone across the board. So that's really cool. And while it is mostly human, this could easily be an elf or anybody else of that sort. So really good miniature to start out with. And then you come down immediately to Hal, the halberdier, and he was destined for this role, I suppose. But yeah, so halberdiers, you don't get a lot of good long weapon miniatures out there, so this is really good to see. A very unique, expressive face. Could be kind of an older man or just someone who's just been through a lot. Big fan of Hal. Bert, okay, Bert, another halberdier. Like halberdier. really good model. I like the padded scarf that is, giving some comfort underneath this helmet here, and you can paint it in the town colors. That's very good to see. Chris Borman, the crossbowman. Midlam Miniatures, always a fan of their puns and silly names. This one's this guy kind of making a face. It seems based on like a person that maybe Midlam knows. Really cool looking mini. I will say this pose of crossbow, he's not like aiming at anybody. It's good sort of standing at attention. Good on me. Mr. Biamels? Reservist crossbowman? Yeah, it's good to have an aiming one. Again, I like the design of the helmet with the cape scarf underneath it. And the gloves looking real nice too. Yeah, just the Midland Miniatures never really disappoint, guys. Rando stabbings, okay. We have could be a spearman, spear one. Someone armed with a spear. I think that's a club there. Good to see. Old Silas, veteran watchman. Big fan of this little bit of facial hair there, and I can see like bags under his eyes and stuff. He's got like, maybe that's his little crest for being in the watch a certain amount of time. There's a lot of character in these minis. You could create entire NPCs around. You angry? The Watchman. This is such a good facial work here. You can see that he is like in the process of yelling and the hands held up so that he can extend his vocal range. That is excellent sculpting work, has to be said. Following up with Captain Zed. It seems fitting that the last mini of this group is Zed. Or Z, if you're American. But I notice here he has a scar going across his face. That's a pretty good little character detail there as well. The pose here actually kind of reminds me of, there is I think his name might be General Garrus or something from Heroescape. He was a Roman general of some kind. He had kind of a similar pose. Obviously, he dressed like a Roman and holding like one of those Roman legionary shields. But yeah, he had a very similar arm pose. So yeah, that is what comes in the actual main volume of the campaign. However, there is a little more to it. For the stretch goals in this campaign, you can get a couple more miniatures added in. Here we have the City Guard Volume 1. This is a previous campaign of Midlam's, and I believe you can get these on the store. I haven't searched their store religiously because I don't live in the UK, so it's like a whole process to get them shipped here. But with the Kickstarters, I've never actually had a problem. But look at these characters, painted up very well. I'm a big fan of his hornblower here, although he's the sort of guy you won't get a ton of use of in every situation. This guard right here looks like one of those classic you can't bribe him type of figures. But, you have archers and melee fighters and even just like, the type of guards that are not there to kill you but just kind of beat you down till you surrender. Really good selection of miniatures all coming in metal. So yeah, that is pretty much it. We very well could see some stretch goals unlock if we get enough backers. We've already well surpass the goal. The goals for these campaigns are really not that high because, Midlam is an established business. They do already have a process for this. I would compare them to Archon Studios, though Archon is a way more in-house, to my understanding. But yeah, they do have a lot of control over the production of these miniatures. So if you do decide you want to back this, I recommend backing within your means. As always, once again, Kickstarter is not a store. The lower tiers here kind of just get you in the door. You can get 1 or 2 city guards. Personally, and as I would expect, most will be backing at these tiers. I missed out on the first campaign, so I will be going down here to get the volume 1 and 2 so that I can, complete my retinue of city guards. But if you just want a lot of guards, you also have this option to just get 2 of volume 2, and you can just get individually 1 set from volume 2. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I just wanted to post a quick little update, a little review of this campaign page so that you can make your own decision on whether or not to back them. Of course, I said that I will be backing them because I have had a lot of positive experiences with Midlam in the past. Not sponsored by them, of course. I haven't been sponsored by a single company on this channel, but I will say that this is one of the real dark horses in the miniature scene. They have been nothing but consistent. So I fully believe, and there's not a high overhead for this sort of a campaign because it's a very small range, all things considered. So I will be backing this, and if you wish to back it, a link will be provided in the description. Well, that's going to be all for me today. Feel free to check out the other videos I mentioned at the top of this one, or anything else on the channel. You can support me by following me on Twitter. You can check me out on Ko-fi, or you can buy me a coffee, or simply liking, subscribing, commenting goes a long way. Alrighty, well, I've been me, you've been you. Thank you so much for watching. As always, take care, stay safe, and if you got them, let's go paint some minis. Bye-bye.